Here are the horoscopes for the week of the 19th to the 25th of August 2024. So we start the week with a very important full moon in Aquarius. That's 27 degrees if you're finding it in your chart. Now Aquarius moon is opposite the sun in Leo, so both of those signs are lit up. And you can have a look at which houses those are in for you, Aquarius and Leo, to see what the possible energy is that you can harness. There's some other features around this full moon. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, and Uranus is making an awkward square at this particular time. Uranus is known for breakthroughs and surprises, flash visions, justice, and self-sovereignty. So depending on where you are, you can manifest on any of those levels, as a square, once faced, becomes what's called a super conjunction. It means it can bring everything together. From a moment of tension, something can suddenly be resolved for resolution and breakthrough to a higher level. So we're looking at a really powerful moon for super high consciousness, personal breakthrough, independence and sovereignty. And this moon will be at 7:25 p.m. UK time. Some other aspects in this chart is we see that Venus has moved opposite Saturn. So we spoke of Saturn last week as our spiritual backbone, core of our conscious, sentient knowing, our ability to feel centered and stable while exploring subjects without any boundaries, in the etheric waters of Pisces, looking for spiritual truth and being able to trust our intuition and our instinct by tuning in and feeling what's right. So to have Venus opposite Saturn, an opposition is temporary tension, two planets pulling in different directions. Venus over there in Virgo, our heart and mind, and Saturn in Pisces, almost representing our spirit and soul. One seems very earthly and the other very spiritual, but if we listen to both, then can we actually manifest heaven on earth? Can we embody both of these aspects and change our own reality? Can we consider our spiritual tone and how it actually affects the outside world if we hold a high enough vibration? It's a rather beautiful opposition there, but also making a square. This is making a square to Jupiter and Mars, which we spoke about last week. Breakthrough and expansion of the mind. So there's lots of potential for higher thought here, for revelations, for realizations, for lifting our entire vibration to a higher perspective, living from a higher place. So after the tensions of last week, these squares seem to peak at this full moon, and now we can look forward to the breakthrough, depending on where we're putting our focus, because where attention goes, energy flows. And with Pluto in Aquarius with a temporary retrograde September to November, the workshop from now on is very much to be the master of our vibration, to be independent and take control and responsibility for what we're putting out and what we're creating. So that's working away strongly in the background, but something more immediate and more personal is the fact that we're still in a Mercury retrograde. So Mercury's moved into Leo and will travel back to 21 degrees. So the last 10 degrees of Leo are lit up by this retrograde. Virgo's had the awareness phase and we'll get the recalibration coming up in September. But for now, all eyes on Leo, right there with the sun, opposite this full moon, and wisdom of the heart, being able to have a change of heart, being able to listen from the heart. This bodes very well for real relationships. We let go of narratives, what we want from other people. We actually learn to communicate on a more heart-centered basis, communicate with our energy field instead of relying on words so much. Learning to trust the energy that we feel from people rather than the promises and the words that come out of their mouth, or what we're trying to make them be or commit to. So a bit of a relationship upgrade I can see there, because Aquarius really knows that relating is being good in yourself and then finding the middle ground with others, rather than engaging in a psychological chess game of want and need. So being the frequency of love, finding that in others, finding the genuine middle ground where things can flow. This is what real relating is, and I feel that the Mercury retrograde in Leo will have that general effect under this full moon, and then a more personal effect depending on where that is in your chart. So at this full moon, the sun is in the 7th house, which is said to be one-to-one relationships. That's anybody that we relate with one-to-one. And the moon is in the 1st house, which is core self. So we can see that relationships are lit up here. The more soulful and centered we are in ourselves, the more personal freedom we allow ourselves and others, then the more heartfelt and authentic our relating can be. So although there's some tough squares under this full moon, do expect breakthrough if we focus on any blocks that we have, raise our perspective, and we can dissolve them and start to live from a higher frequency. On the 22nd, the Sun moves into Virgo, so we end the Leo season with this wonderful breakthrough full moon and then go into Virgo season, which will take us through past the end of the Mercury retrograde third phase. So Mercury retrograde will be complete during the time that the Sun is in Virgo. So the Sun cleanses, it radiates, it expands. So we can use that kind of energy to cleanse and expand out of anything that the Mercury retrograde has brought up, to find our inner life force energy, to feel it, to radiate ourselves and become the transmitter receivers that we are in full consciousness. Virgo likes to attend to detail and can be a very active sign, wanting to get things done. So when the retrograde is complete, we should be able to start making plans after the 12th of September, that back to school feeling, getting our curriculum together to see us through the winter, put our energy into something natural and wholesome and productive. So if you'd like to see where this is happening for you, I am available zoehind7@gmail.com. I'm available for readings, courses and coaching, and each session is recorded MP3 with tarot included as well. It's very worth learning both astrology and tarot together. They're perfect mirrors of each other, and used together bring a greater depth of understanding and ancient wisdom into the picture. So a strong start to the week, a little bit of necessary tension, seek breakthrough, seek raising your vibration, seek sovereignty and independence and higher perspective whilst watching what the retrograde is bringing. And then by the end of September, we should be higher, brighter and clearer to set a course ahead for the rest of the year. So those are the horoscopes for this week, and I'll see you next week.